There are big problems with the financial side of Social Security. Without legislative action, projections show that in 2033, people receiving Social Security benefits would face a 23% reduction in their annual payments. For most retirees, that would be a tough pill to swallow. Today, Vince and Nikki are here to help us illustrate the potential impact it could have on your income and your savings. That's all coming up right now. Hello, welcome back to Wealth Wednesday. Thanks for joining us today. If you would like to see more of our videos, please check out our YouTube channel. That is at Commonwealth Financial, and you can also find all of these on our website. That is www.cfswv.com. I'd like to welcome in Nikki Ludy, a financial advisor in Woodsfield, Ohio, and Vince McManus, a financial advisor in Parkersburg, West Virginia. Nikki, many people depend on their Social Security benefits for at least a portion of their retirement income. The numbers on this vary depending on how much you've earned over your lifetime, but the impact of this is going to be felt by nearly everyone. Are you starting to get questions about the Social Security problems?
Sure, Neil. Yeah, because this is in the headlines, I feel like this is a question off and on for the last few years that people are starting to question, and asking what's going on with this. And quite frankly, yes, this could have a significant impact on what happens to clients' retirement income. Maybe Social Security replaced 50% of your working income in retirement, and the impact of this reduction could mean that it only replaces 40% without changes either in your savings. So if you're not retired yet, having additional savings to put back to prepare for something like this if it does come down the pipe, or cutting back on expenses during retirement or expenses now even, because quite frankly, if you need to spend more money in retirement, it could mean less money for you personally, but it also could be less money for your heirs as well.
Vince, we can help our clients illustrate this impact. And a few weeks ago, we did a 3-part series about taxes in retirement. We had a hypothetical couple named Bill and Janet. Their only sources of income were from Social Security and their 401k plans. When they retired, their combined 401k balance was $750,000, and their living expenses were $76,000 per year. The Social Security benefits started at roughly $32,700. Explain what we're looking at in this graph.
Sure. So on your screen, this is a projection of cash flow in retirement for our couple here. And the dark blue bar that you see there, the bottom bar is their Social Security income. The yellow bar represents the amount of income they're generating from their savings through the 401k. Then in 2030, which is where the little caret is right there, Bill dies in this plan. So Janet sees a reduction in her Social Security benefits as a survivor. So that's why the blue line goes down there starting in 31. But her expenses also went down a little bit, and that's where the top red line goes down. So the key thing here really is that in 2023, your survivor benefit is projected to be around $28,300 per year. This will cover about 41% of her projected living expenses. So a 23% reduction means that Social Security benefits would drop for her by roughly $6,500. So again, not as bad as some of the things that we see painted out there in the media, which again is designed to scare you, not make you a better investor. But still, that's a very significant reduction. That's over $500 a month that she's going to have to come up with somewhere else or make a change in her expected lifestyle. So we really can model this to an extent to show where she now has to take more to where it looks like this chart. And then this next chart, so as you can see, the light green bar represents the Social Security for both of them. And then you can see where their survivor benefits start again after Bill's death. Then you can see that reduction, which is that second down part in the green out there in 2034. So now instead of covering that 41%, it covers again 30%. So about a 10% reduction in the amount of 10-11% amount of the expenses that it covers. So there you go. The yellow bar increases as a size of result to make up that difference there.
Nikki, these charts don't show a failure, meaning that she's not running out of money, but it does have an impact, doesn't it?
Yes, I mean, it definitely puts more of a strain on the assets. So you can see from the chart that the withdrawal percentage in 2023 is higher than we would like because it jumps to 6.8%, which is over the safe withdrawal rate already. We typically recommend, 4 to 5%. But then with this reduction, it takes it up to over an 8% withdrawal rate, which again, you run the risk of running out of money. If she were to live beyond the age of 82, as we projected in this case, this could become a problem because these higher withdrawal rates draws it down sooner. And again, how much money is left behind. If there's no changes to this situation, there's a substantial reduction, again, once Janet passes, either less money to the heirs, or if she were to live longer, if there was an assumption that she needed to go into a nursing home or needed, to dip into that more than we're traditionally expecting, then she's even at greater risk at that point as well.
So Vince, I know this is a topic that's near and dear to your heart for good or bad, but this is just an illustration of the possible impact. If you're looking ahead at this event from a practical perspective, one, should we be worried about it? Meaning, is it likely to happen? And two, if it does, what can you start doing about it now?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, again, I like to harp on the media because I think they're ridiculous. But yes, we should be worried about this happening. Again, a 20 to 25% reduction. 23 splits the baby there, but that's a substantial reduction for anyone. So we really should worry about it. And again, we're to the point now where we're 10, 11, 12 years out. The fact that it hasn't been fixed yet is concerning. And that's something that we just, as planners, we have to keep an eye on. And as individuals, when we're trying to plan retirement, we need to kind of prepare for kind of a worst case scenario, I think, which is what we're looking to do here. I do ultimately think that it gets fixed. I've had some very smart people tell me that this can be fixed in 30 minutes if you get the right people in the room. But that was told to me about 10, 12 years ago. So maybe it's up to an hour now. I don't know. But in the off chance it doesn't get fixed, so some things that we keep in mind, again, we harp on this, be flexible. We've talked about Roth IRAs in the past and taxable brokerage accounts. That's something that, you really want to pay attention to. So in this current scenario we're looking at in this particular hypothetical, that's maybe a conversation we would have with these individuals. Say, hey, do we want to do a Roth conversion for some of this stuff, possibly? Where taxes are where they are, and to give us some flexibility later on down the road so we don't get into a downward spiral with taxes there. The other thing, if someone's still working, and save more. Another thing is you could have to maybe work a year or two longer just to build up that buffer to kind of deal with what could be an impact, 10 to 12 years down the road. Then again, if someone is, I don't know, right now, say they're 55 or 60, they want to retire at 60, we would say, hey, why don't we work 2 more years, 62, because we have this coming down the pike, or at least bring it up, because that's the biggest thing to me. We want to make sure that people go into their decisions eyes wide open, and that we at least discuss some things that are on the horizon, because that's what we don't want to have a surprise 10, 12 years down the road when someone can no longer work at all. It's something that we say we talked about. Here's how we dealt with it going forward.
Right. I'm reminded of a quote from Winston Churchill, who, and I'll paraphrase this, you can always count on Americans to do the right thing after they've tried everything else. And this is probably going to be kicked down the road a little bit. Nikki, do you have any final thoughts you'd like to share with us today?
Yeah, I mean, I'm with Vince. You want to build in flexibility. I think that most people severely underestimate how much they're going to need for retirement. And if you truly want to control your own destiny in retirement, you have to save for it. You can't wait for what we think will happen with this scenario. So the more you save, the more that you build in that buffer, the better off you're going to be, the more flexibility. I repeatedly tell clients, I've never had someone come to me in retirement and said, oh, whoa, I've saved too much. It's always the other way around. Because again, you don't know if these, long-term care events are going to come up, a premature death, if someone wants to retire early, and that's where I see this coming in too. If you retire early and you had banked on that Social Security and that then changes, that means you better have a pretty good nest egg to carry the load, because they're either going to extend these ages out, make it more taxable than the current scenario. They're going to find out some way to do it, and it all results in either us paying more money in or delaying when we can take it out. So yeah, I think the more flexibility that you can build in, save money in various areas, just like Vince said, tax-free areas. Building up too much money in a 401k can be kind of its own monster at times. But yeah, I think that's what we're here for, is to show people how this can impact them.
And if you would like to see how this could potentially impact your situation, we are happy to go through the exercise and illustrate your situation for you. Just simply reach out to someone like Vince or Mickey, and you can do that on our webpage. That's cfswb.com. I'd like to thank both Vince and Mickey for joining me today and helping illustrate how this does potentially impact you. If next week we are going to look at part 3 of our Roth series and talk about some of the other interesting, lesser known tools that you can use in that Roth contribution world, such as treating your employer contributions as Roth contributions. And be sure to join us next week, and there's a link that you can subscribe below. Thanks for watching. Have a great week.